Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is Take 42. And I thought today I'm going to talk about our body, the human body, the body puzzle, and how we care for this magnificent machine that we've been given. And what I wanted to talk about today is we all know the basics. We all know that the things that are going to be the strongest impact on our body include food, exercise, sleep, and mind. And by mind, I mean, how are we handling stress and anxiety and all those internal feelings that can kind of derail us and make us sick that we don't even realize is happening because it's inside of us. But now, I've talked about that a lot in the past few lives. Today, what I want to talk about is the food part. And the reason I want to talk about the food part is I know I've been doing some testing with the doctor recently, and as bariatric patients, we have to monitor our blood work very, very closely. And we have to monitor it because there are deficiencies that are a result of bariatric surgery, one of them being iron deficiency. And interestingly, everybody complains about hair loss with iron deficiency, and or hair loss with bariatric surgery, and iron deficiency is known to create that. Because iron deficiency, the symptoms of an iron deficiency, and again, all this I've been doing research on the internet, and there's been multiple sources, but it talks about that you're tired, you have pale skin, shortness of breath, and that your hair and skin is dry and damaged. So that makes sense because iron deficiency is one of those things that's it's almost very common in bariatric patients. So I kind of looked at what kind of foods will counter that deficiency, and I'm trying to focus more on fruits and vegetables because I want to get more of that into my body. And it's legumes, peas, and lentils. And lentils are really basically like a pea type item. But those are the items that make you higher in iron. And then we all know there are a lot of meat products that will, provide you with iron. Another area that a lot of bariatric patients are weak is vitamin B12. And I know that's something that my doctor had me supplementing for quite a while, and we still monitor pretty close now. And that's meat, fish, poultry. And that's a harder one to get if you're deficient in getting it in fruits and vegetables, but eggs, trout, and salmon tend to have sources of B12. The symptoms of B12 are fatigue, weakness, constipation, numbness, and having difficulty thinking. So again, that's another one we want to keep top of our list of items that we're monitoring. And then another item that women in general or bariatric patients, they look at a lot is calcium. And calcium, if you're low on calcium, you tend to have tingling and aches and spasms. And I can tell sometimes, like when I exercise a lot, the next day I might have like tingling or spasms in my arms or legs. So now I'm going to have to, I just had my blood work done, so if I'm deficient, I'll be able to tell by that. But the foods that will give you vitamin or calcium are things like dairy, cheese, yogurt, collard greens. Good morning. I can't see who. Oh, good morning, Karen. Thank you for listening. But the items that have calcium are dairy, cheese, yogurt, collard greens, spinach, and turnip greens. And this is my smoothie. I love my smoothie. Kale, mustard greens, and beet greens. And then bok choy. I know Doc V talks about bok choy. But my standard smoothie does have kale, mustard greens, and beet greens. So that's calcium. Then vitamin D. If you're weak in vitamin D, you have muscle weakness, pain, and depression. And the foods that will give you vitamin D, we all know is like milk. And then there's also egg yolks, mushrooms, fish with bones, salmon. And the reason I kind of wanted to talk about this, one is it's really important that we monitor through our doctors, our follow-up appointments, and we adjust. Like right now, I'm going to have to make an adjustment. And based on going to my doctor, and I know bariatric patients all over the world are going to want to smack me, but pre-surgical, I had severe anemia to the point where I was having iron infusions. And through some medical intervention, they were able to reverse it. So I was really concerned about having bariatric surgery because I was afraid that I would be anemic for the rest of my life. Well, ironically, my body became so efficient at producing the amount of iron I need. I'm now at the top end of the iron scale. And my doctor said, do not supplement. You are like right at the top. And I had to remind her, I haven't supplemented it over 2 years because we found that after bariatric surgery and my body had healed, I didn't need to supplement iron anymore. But I think my body got so used to producing it, it's doing amazing. So that's not typical. I had medical intervention before surgery that I think corrected that. But now I have to rethink. I think I focus so much on getting iron-rich foods into my diet that I can kind of shift, and I'm going to look at all my blood work from my doctor, see what areas might be falling a little behind, and I'm going to shift my diet to fit what my body may need at this time. So I think it's really important. The food is really important. I'm going to try to keep incorporating more fruits and vegetables, but our deficiencies change, and the only way I would ever know that my iron is no longer an issue is if I was following up with my doctor, because it was a huge issue for nearly 10 years. So to be on this side of it is kind of like, wow, once the issue is fixed, everything is great. Now, that's not typical bariatric patients. It is not. But following up will let you know where you stand so you can fix it. And you're right, Karen, our foods, we have to really watch them close so that we can feed our body what it needs. This body's a beautiful puzzle, but we have to use the tools available and find the foods that we need so that we can fuel it right. I'm going to mention, again, the top things that I think we all need to monitor and watch. And the basics, which we all know is our food, our exercise, and Mayo Clinic says the preference, of course, we all know is 60 minutes a day, but 150 minutes a week. I think, again, you don't want to make this crazy. Just do something you like, whether it's walking, jogging, videos online, whatever works for your schedule right now, especially with COVID. Me, I tend to walk a certain number of steps every hour because it helps my mind be fresh when I'm working, because I am working remotely. Sleep, I think, is critical because that's when our body heals. And then mind, controlling the stresses, because I think that will make us sick also. But today my focus was on the food part, because looking at the blood work made me realize that I need to make shifts. I've been so focused on iron, and my body has become so efficient at fixing what was wrong that now I need to take another look and figure out, where is my food going to best support my body? So I hope you guys find this helpful. But remember, iron deficiencies are part of that hair loss. It also is the tired, pale skin, shortness of breath. And I do remember that. B12 is fatigue, weakness, constipation, numbness. Calcium is tingling and aches and spasms of muscles. And vitamin D, especially those of us in winter communities where it's dark and snowy and you can't be outside, that's muscle pain and depression. And we all know about those items too. So remember, just a shift in some fruits and vegetables, some egg yolks, some salmon, a lot of those will fix any of those ills. Then make sure you're getting your exercise, get some sleep, and remember, you're worth all this effort, and don't let anybody draw you into that negative place. Remember, think positive, throw positive thoughts out into the universe, throw positive energy. Thank God for all the gifts that He's given you. And let's move into this spring, not only through COVID, but through the spring that we're going to enter into after this winter is over, in our best possible health and experiencing every possible opportunity that's out there. We've been cooped up too long, and it's time to get ready to jump and run. Thank you so much, and thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I can't wait to share adventures down the road. Thanks. Bye-bye.